Here's the question I want you to sit with for the next 12 minutes. If you stepped away from your business for the next 30 days, fully offline, no calls, no Slack, no quick check-ins, what would happen? For most business owners, the honest answer is things would probably start to break. Not because their team is bad, not because their business isn't profitable, but because somewhere along the way, they became the load-bearing wall, the thing that the whole structure depends on. So if that's you, I'm going to show you exactly how that happened, and more importantly, what you can do about it. By the end of this video, you'll understand the specific shift that separates owners who are trapped in their business from owners who are free of it. And I'm going to give you a concrete tool to start that transition this week. Let's go. My name is Tanner O'Brien. I coach business owners at every stage, from $500,000 a year operators figuring out their first hire to $10 million companies trying to build leadership infrastructure that actually scales. The problem we're talking about today is the most common one that I see. It doesn't discriminate by revenue, it doesn't discriminate by industry or years in business, and it almost always starts with something that looks like a strength. Being good at the work is actually the trap. Here's what nobody tells you when you start. The skills that make you an exceptional operator in the early days, your judgment, your speed, your standards, your ability to just get crap done, those same skills eventually cap your growth. Because here's what happens. You get good, clients refer to you, the business grows, you hire people, but instead of building a system that teaches others how to do what you do, you become the system. This means that every deal routes through you. Every problem comes back to you. Every quality check depends on your eye. And the business grows, sure. Revenue climbs, but your calendar fills up. And this is in a way that has nothing to do with your freedom. So I call this the operator trap. You're not just running a business, you're performing one. The business doesn't work without you. It works because of you. And at some point, these two things stop being the same. The trap here isn't built in just one day. It's built one, let me just handle this quick, at a time. Here's the thing. The moment you recognize the pattern, you can start to build the exit out of it. So I take you back. I fired my whole team, and it was all my fault. So about 4 years ago, I sat down at a conference room and I said the same sentence about 5 times in a row. Some version of, this isn't working, we're going to need to part ways. It was different faces, but it was the same words. And by the end of the day, we'd let nearly the entire team go. It was incredibly painful. For a long time, I had told myself a story of a lot of qualifications, culture issues, wrong hires, accountability gaps, all of it technically true, but honestly, it was all just a little bit of deflection. The actual truth here was that I had hired people to fill roles that I hadn't defined. I gave them work that I hadn't systemized. I held them accountable to standards that I hadn't written down. And then I was genuinely surprised when things fell apart. That wasn't a people problem. It was a structure problem. And I had built the structure. So here's where things started to shift. I asked myself one question that changed everything. What would each of these roles look like if they didn't need me to function? Not, what does this person do? But changing to, what does this role do? Defined so clearly that the right person can own it without asking me how. That question is the beginning of getting out. So for us, the rebuild started slow. But it was the first time that I was building something real instead of building something that ran on my ability to keep up with it. So what's important here is that your team doesn't need your answers. They need your questions. Because here's the thing about being the person that everyone comes to. You think it's because they trust you. And honestly, sometimes it is. But mostly it's because you've trained them to come to you. Every time that you solve a problem for someone on your team, you've taught them one thing: bring me problems. Every time you make a decision someone else could have made with the right framework, you've taught them, wait for me. Every time that you jump in and save things, you've taught them, don't worry, I'll catch it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't help your people here. I'm saying that there's a different kind of help that actually builds the business that you're trying to build. And yes, it may be a bit slower in the moment. It looks like asking, what do you think we should do? Even if you already know the answer. It looks like saying, walk me through your thinking, instead of just telling them what to do. You're not being inefficient here. You're doing the most important work that you can do as a leader. You're building someone who can think like you without actually needing you. This is leadership embodied. Listen, managers create people who bring them problems. Leaders create people who solve their own problems. And the payoff here is big. Every team member that you develop this way is a system that you never have to actually build because they become one in of themselves. Now, before I get to the final two components of this conversation, I want to point you towards something. One of the most common things that I hear from business owners is, I know I need to do this work, but I don't know where to start. This is exactly why we've built and put together the 6-step scorecard for your business. It's a free tool that helps you identify exactly where your business depends on you the most and gives you a prioritized starting point for getting out. It only takes about 15 minutes to do, and it will show you more about your business than most consultants will give you in 90 minutes of a discovery call. The link to this tool is in the description below. Download it, do it, and come back with what you find. Now, the part that most people skip. You don't need a better team. You need a better leadership layer. Most owners, when they hit the wall, think the answer is better hiring. Different people, stronger resumes, cleaner culture fit, and honestly, listen, sometimes that's part of it, but mostly the problem isn't who you've hired, it's about what you've built around them. Listen, a team of talented people with no leadership infrastructure equates just expensive chaos. What you actually need is a leadership layer, people who are accountable not just for doing the work, but for running the systems, developing other people, and solving problems without coming back to you. This is the difference between a business that grows with you and a business that scales beyond you. So here's the test that I use. If your best manager got hit by a bus tomorrow, what breaks? If the answer is everything, you don't have a leadership layer. You have a single point of failure wearing a manager title. And listen, folks, for you as the business owner, that manager title, that manager role if they got hit by a bus, that's you. And when you are not in the business doesn't move. So here's the thing. A leadership layer isn't built by promoting your best performers. It's built by developing people differently, teaching them to own their outcomes, not just the tasks. Focus on the outcomes. And the payoff here is that the day that you watch your business handle something significant without you for the first time, that's the day that you understand what you've actually been building towards. So the 30-day test. What breaks when you leave? Let's go back to the question that I asked at the very start of this conversation today. If you stepped away for 30 days, what's going to break? And I want you to get specific here. Not things would be harder or the team would struggle. What specifically would stop working? Would leads still come in? Would sales be completed? Would client projects get done? Would the bills get paid? Maybe it's deals that need your approval, client relationships that only exist through you, problems that your team can't solve without escalating it. The answers live in those specifics. So here's what I'm going to recommend. I want you to write them down. Every place the business routes through you, document it. That's not a list of your value. It's a map of your transition. Each item on that list is a dependency you need to systemize or delegate. Listen, not all at once, but one at a time, in order of what's going to break first. The owners who do this work methodically, without drama, are the ones who eventually look up and realize that the business runs without them. Not because they got lucky, because they spent 2 years on purpose building toward that moment. This 30-day test isn't about whether you're ready to step away. It's about knowing exactly what you need to do and what you need to build before you can. Freedom isn't the absence of responsibility. It's having a responsibility without being trapped by it. That's what this work earns you. Now, we started with a question. If you stepped away for 30 days, what would happen? Here's what I know now that I didn't know 5 years ago. The answer to that question is a direct measurement of how well you've done your actual job as an owner of the business. Not the work, the architecture. The business that can run without you didn't happen by accident. Someone built the systems, developed the leaders, documented the decisions, did the slow, unsexy work of getting themselves out of the darn way. That's the job, guys. And if you're still the load-bearing wall, that's okay, because now you know where to start. So download the 6-step scorecard in the description. It'll show you the top 3 dependencies this week. If you're at the stage where you want someone sitting alongside you to build this, my team works with owners at every level. The link is below to apply. There's no pressure. And listen, this content will always be free. I'll see you next week. Let's go build some amazing businesses together.